Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
CBS's attempt to go after the very successful Dragnet with their own show, The Lineup. This is going back to February 22nd, 1951, 71 years ago. This episode is called The Silver Swan Case. We'll be listening to that this hour on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on a Tuesday. This is the 22nd day of February, 53rd day of the year, 312 days remaining until we get to 2023. Founding of a few universities on this date in history. Washington University, founded in St. Louis in 1853 as Eliot Cemetery. Pennsylvania State University in 1855. The Republican Party opened its first national meeting in Pittsburgh on this date in 1856. Tennessee adopting a new constitution on this date in 1865 that abolished slavery. Johns Hopkins University, founded in Baltimore in 1876. And in 1879, Frank Woolworth opened the first of many 5 and dime stores. Of course, 5 and 10 cent stores. Woolworths. Yeah. That was back in 1879, and I remember Woolworths so very well. President Grover Cleveland signed a bill admitting North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and Washington as states of the Union on this date in 1889. In 1920, in Emeryville, California, the first dog racing track to employ an imitation rabbit opened up. The U.S. began the first transcontinental airmail route on this date in 1923. In 1924, Calvin Coolidge became the first president to deliver a radio broadcast from the White House. This is what we believe to be a recording of Coolidge giving that address.
I believe in the American Constitution. I favor the American system of individual enterprise, and I am opposed to any general extension of government ownership and control. I believe not only in advocating economy and public expenditure, but in its practical application and actual accomplishment.
If that is, in fact, a recording of that broadcast, do you realize that goes back 88 years? 1924. President Roosevelt ordered General MacArthur out of the Philippines on this date in 1942 as American defenses collapsed. In 1956, Elvis entered the music charts for the first time with Heartbreak Hotel in 1956. Lee Petty won the first Daytona 500 on this date in 1959. Calcutta by Lawrence Welk was the most popular song in the nation on this date in 1961. It would be the only tango record to hit the number one spot on the pop charts, and Lawrence Welk's only number one record. Barbara Jo Ruby won a thoroughbred horse race on this date in 1969. She made history as the first woman to win one. The last time all 4 Beatles were together was on this date in 1969 for a recording session. Well, following President Nixon's visit to the People's Republic of China, China and the U.S. agreed to establish liaison offices in 1973. In 1974, Samuel Bick tried and failed to assassinate President Nixon. The U.S. ice hockey team defeated the Soviet Union team at the 1980 Winter Olympics in an upset dubbed the Miracle on Ice. And on this date in 1994, Aldrich Ames and his wife charged by the State Department for spying for the Soviet Union. In Roslyn, Scotland, on this date in 1997, scientists announced that an adult sheep named Dolly had been successfully cloned. And it was on this date in 2004, the final original episode of Sex and the City, broadcast on HBO.
I am someone who is looking for love. Real love. Can't live without each other love. And I don't think that love is here in Paris.
Sarah Jessica Parker there. Now, the interesting part is not only did the original series, which ran from 1998 to 2004, spawned 2 feature films, one in 2008, one in 2010, a prequel commissioned by the CW called The Carrie Diaries that ran from 2013 to 2014, and now a sequel. And just like that, HBO Max, 10 episodes of the, shall we call it a sequel? I get, yeah, that's what they're calling it, so that's a sequel. So there you go. Sarah Jessica Parker still milking that Sex and the City run. Well, and most of the original cast. Passing away on this date in history, Amerigo Vespucci, who is the man whom America was named after. Andy Warhol passing away on this date. Talk show host David Susskind, musician Papa John Creech, St. Elsewhere's Ed Flanders, an animator for Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies Chuck Jones, and the Southern Gentleman Sonny James, all passing away on this date in history. This is the birth date of President Washington, composer Frederick Chopin, writer Edna St. Vincent Millay, actor Sheldon Leonard. And Sheldon did so much more. He got behind the scenes also and did a lot of production work and directing and all sorts of great stuff. Robert Young, Father Knows Best, who actually owned that show to a degree, did a lot of producing there as well and did a lot of other shows as well. Sports on, with Robert Young, we can't forget Marcus Welby, MD, can we? Also, sports entrepreneur Charlie Finley, announcer Don Pardo, who he did such a wonderful job for so many years. Also, I think of Don Pardo. The first thing I think of is I Lost on Jeopardy. What was it? Weird Al Yankovic thing. Teddy Kennedy, born on this date in history. Baseball manager Sparky Anderson. Ernie K. Doe, mother-in-law. Oliver, Good Morning, Starshine. Lawyer Robert Kardashian. Steve Irwin, born on this date as well. Twin Peaks, Kyle Macklin is 63 today. She was 7 of 9 on Star Trek Voyager. Jerry Ryan, 54. And Drew Barrymore, oh my gosh, 47? Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 22nd day of February as their birthday. If this happened to be your birthday.
Hi. We're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
And from 71 years ago, February 22nd, 1951, the lineup on this Tuesday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
The Overstock sale continues at MyPillow.com. Deep discounts on Giza Dream Sheets, MyPillow original pillows, the My Slippers, half price. I love mine. And with every order you make by going to MyPillow.com/radio specials, you'll get a free copy of Mike Lindell's book, What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO. MyPillow.com/radio specials, promo code USA. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, February 22nd, 1951, the lineup.
Ladies and gentlemen, we take you now behind the scenes of a police headquarters in a great American city, where under the cold, glaring lights will pass before us the innocent, the vagrant, the thief, the murderer. This is The Lineup.
think you catch him, Lieutenant? Maybe you got him now.
Maybe, but we'll need your help, Mr. Reducci.
You got my help, all of my help. I've been a night watchman 20 years. Now I can help with the police. Making me proud.
Sure. Just sit here.
Thank you. You know, I thought it was a bundle he was carrying. A big bundle. That's a joke, no, Lieutenant?
Yeah.
A joke, man. It's not funny. This bundle the man carried down the fire escape. She was a dead girl. Maybe I should run after him.
You called the police. That was the right thing.
Down the fire escape. Then he put her on the pavement and I walk away. Just like that. The girl, she was strangled, huh, Lieutenant?
That's right.
Strangled. If I run after him, maybe I'll catch him.
You might have, Mr.
May I
Reduci.
have your attention, please?
Me, Reduci, a man who almost caught a
In
murder.
the audience room, may I have your attention, please? Thank you. My name is Greb, Sergeant Matt Greb. I'll explain the lineup to you. Each of the suspects you will see will be numbered. I'll call off a number, their name and charge. If you have any questions or identifications, please remember the number assigned to the prisoner as I call his name. At the end of each line, when I ask for questions or identifications, call out the number. If you're sure or not too sure of the suspect, have him held. The officers who took your name will assist you. They're seated among you. Please be prompt with your questions or identifications.
This man, the killer, when do they bring him out?
In a minute, Mr. Reduci.
And dressed back into their jail clothes. It makes it quite difficult to bring them back after they leave here. The questions I ask these suspects are merely to get a natural tone of voice, so do not pay too much attention to their answers as they often lie. Bring on the line. All right, boys, all right, this way. Pick it up. Pick it up. The first man walk to the end of the stage. Take your place. The others follow. That's far enough. Now turn and face front. You, the second man, don't look up at the ceiling. Look out at the people so they can see you. That's right. All right, number one, Finney Russell, assault. Where do you live, Finney?
Same place, down by the fish market.
You hit a man this morning, knocked him out.
That's right.
Why did you hit him, Finney?
Oh, he said a bad thing about me.
Is that all?
Oh, he tried to sell me a rotten fish.
What did you hit him with?
Oh, everything.
What's everything?
A rubber boot and a bucket, I think.
Number two, Harold Dodge, theft. Where you from, Harold?
The East.
Where in the East?
The only place in the East, Boston.
Don't tell me, Harold. Tell the people out there.
Boston.
Ever been arrested before?
A few times.
How often? 5, 10, 100?
7.
Speak louder. How many times were you arrested?
7.
Where were you arrested this time?
In a phone booth. I was calling my girl.
The arresting officer said you were breaking open the coin box.
I was trying to get my nickel back. The call was hardly worth it.
Number 3, Warren Fuller, vagrancy. Where do you live, Warren?
Flop house.
Which flop house?
They don't play no favorites. Sun goes down, there's always a flop house.
What kind of work do you do, Warren?
Work?
All right. What do you do all day?
Oh, that. Sit in the park, take a walk up Broadway.
Ever think about getting a job?
I've thought about it.
Have you tried?
Sure, I tried.
When did you try, Warren?
1933. Didn't work out.
Number 4, Charlie Bond, open charge. Where do you live, Charlie?
I'm not answering any questions.
What's that? I didn't hear you.
I said I'm not answering any questions.
Okay, make it tough for yourself.
I don't feel good. I'm sick.
You'll feel worse if you don't answer the questions. Where do you live?
Rainbow Apartments.
At the apartment house across the street from the Realty Building?
How do I know? I don't know.
You ever been arrested before, Charlie?
No.
Mr.
What do you do
Reduci?
for a living?
I don't know.
Come on, speak up.
I just can't say.
You're not sure?
Well, you see, Lieutenant,
Any
he
questions
was
or
a walker.
identifications?
I see. Sergeant Graham.
Yes, Lieutenant.
Number 4. Have him walk back and forth across the stage.
Yes, sir. That's you, Charlie. Walk. Over to the end of the stage and back.
I don't feel like walking.
Walk!
Okay.
Now, Mr. Reduci?
Yeah.
That the man?
What? I think so, maybe.
Sergeant?
Yes?
Hold number 4 for interrogation.
I don't feel good, Lieutenant. You'll get a doctor.
After we talk, Charlie. After you tell me about last night.
You don't want to get a police doctor? Let me phone. I'll get my own doctor.
Last night, where were you?
All night? You want to know about all night?
Uh-huh.
Well, I was in my apartment the whole night. The day before, I was sick.
The night watchman in the Realty building said he saw you carry the body of a girl down the fire escape. You left the body on the pavement and walked away.
My kidneys must be my kidneys the way it hurts.
The watchman said...
Well, he's a liar. Wasn't me.
Who was it?
How do I know? You get paid to find out such things.
There were scratches on your face, Charlie. How did you get them?
I don't know. Maybe I cut myself shaving.
They're long scratches. The kind a girl's fingernails would make.
Ben.
Yeah, Matt, come on in.
The morgue called. They got a girl down there who thinks she can identify the body.
Uh-huh. Well, take Charlie back to his cell. I'll meet you down at the morgue.
Over here, Ben. This is Laura Phillips. She works in the dance hall over near 15th Street.
Lieutenant, I hope you won't think... I mean, this is the first time
We understand, Miss Phillips. You think it might be someone you know.
My roommate. I know, it's silly, but... Well, Edna left the dance hall in such a hurry last night, and she didn't come home.
Sure. I understand, Miss Phillips. All right, Matt.
Edna. Edna! You must think I'm awful, Mr. Guthrie, getting upset like that, but when I saw Edna...
That's all right, Miss Phillips. Feel well enough to answer a few questions?
Could I have a glass of water, please?
Matt, get her a glass of water.
Yeah, sure.
Your roommate, what was her full name? Edna what?
Edna Hawley. We've been rooming together about 2 years. Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
And, we both worked at the Silver Swan Dance Hall.
I see. You know anybody who would want to kill her?
Oh, no. Edna was... Well, she was a little wild, but she was all right. Everybody liked her.
What about last night at the dance hall? Did she have an argument?
Edna never had arguments, Mr. Guthrie. She was sweet. Sweetest person I've ever known.
Miss Phillips, does the name Charlie Bond mean anything to you?
Charlie Bond? No.
Matt, hand me those mugshots of Charlie, left-hand drawer.
Here you are, Ben.
Right. Ever see this man before, Miss Phillips?
Maybe. He looks familiar.
Try the profile. Here.
He looks so familiar, I think.
Take your time.
Yes, I've seen him, Mr. Guthrie. I'm sure I've seen him at the dance hall.
Last night?
No, it must have been about a month ago, maybe 2. He came in every night for about a week.
Have you seen him since then?
Not once. Did this man kill Edna?
That's something we have to find out.
Poor Edna, she was so sweet.
Did she have any relatives here in town or somewhere else?
No, I don't think so. Her mother and father are dead. She had a brother, but he was killed in the war. Oh, I just remembered. Hawley was Edna's married name. She only talked about her husband once, a long time ago. That's why I almost forgot it.
She never saw him?
Well, he lives in town, but they were separated.
Any idea of his first name?
Albert or Alfred or something like that. I believe she said he was some kind of an artist, a painter, I think. I'm not sure.
Well, all right, Miss Phillips. Thanks for your help.
That's all? You don't want to ask?
Not now. I'll have somebody drive you home. Matt.
Yeah, Ben?
Set up a tracer on Edna Hawley's husband.
Come in, it's open.
You're Alfred Hawley?
Who are you?
Police, Lieutenant Guthrie.
Sit down. Just dump those canvases on the floor.
I want to ask you some questions.
About what?
You were married to Edna Hawley?
I still am.
When'd you last see your wife?
3-4 years ago. I forget. I forget because I don't want to remember. You hear about support money?
No.
Well, that's good, because I don't have support money for her or me. Edna in trouble?
She's dead.
Would you hand me that brush, the big one? Thanks.
I said your wife is dead. Murdered.
She probably deserved it.
Doesn't bother you?
Makes me happy. She hated me and I hated her. We let it go at that.
Did you hate her enough to kill her?
More than enough.
Where were you last night?
Tell me, Lieutenant. How was Edna killed?
Strangled. In the Rainbow Apartments. Body was carried down the fire escape, left on the sidewalk. You didn't answer my question about where you were last night.
No, I didn't.
Well? What's so funny?
You think I killed Edna? Carried her body down a fire escape?
Maybe. Can you convince me you didn't?
Oh. Come on, Lieutenant. Want me to show you to the door?
We're not through talking.
Yes, we are.
You'd better come along to headquarters.
Certainly. Anytime.
Well, come on.
Sure. Would you mind handing me those crutches, Lieutenant? I can't walk a step without them.
From February 22nd, 1951, the lineup on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion comes up in the next half hour of the show, but we'll have the news of the day from 71 years ago today next, when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily, without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
And you're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday edition, and we're listening to an episode of The Lineup, as it was originally broadcast on Thursday, February 22nd, 1951, in the newspapers of that Thursday, 71 years ago. These were some of the headlines. The United Nations exploded a major offensive along a 60-mile front in central Korea yesterday, and by today had rolled forward as much as 10 miles. General MacArthur announced the start of the new offensive in a special communique, which followed by 24 hours his dramatic flying visit to the front, when he ordered his men of many nations to resume the initiative. The Allies jumped off under impossible weather conditions, slogging forward in a blinding rainstorm that grounded planes and turned the rude Korean roads into quagmires of oozing red mud, hampering the movements of tanks and trucks. General Eisenhower came back to war-jittered Europe yesterday as Commander-in-Chief of the Atlantic Pact Defense Forces. Eisenhower arrived aboard the Queen Elizabeth at the Normandy port of Cherbourg and left almost immediately for Paris and his World War II headquarters at Versailles. He told welcoming French officials at Cherbourg that he was glad to be in France again and see Europe working for the preservation of peace with God's will. The Army announced yesterday it will call up more National Guard and organized reserve units of company and battalion size. Major General Maxwell D. Taylor made the statement at a news conference in clarifying his announcement Tuesday about calling no more Guard divisions unless the world crisis takes a turn for the worse. The Senate voted yesterday to issue special arrest warrants for 17 persons, including several Chicago and Cleveland operators who have been dodging subpoenas by its Special Crime Investigating Committee. The usual procedures will permit Sergeant-at-Arms of the Senate, Joseph Duke, to deputize all federal law enforcement officers to pick up the reluctant witnesses. Dollars and cents price ceiling set on used cars yesterday in a government order that also prohibited new car sales at more than the manufacturer's suggested retail prices. Automobile prices were frozen at the manufacturer's level on December 18th, but yesterday's order applies to the retail markets and to individuals who may be selling a car. A 4-year study reported by the University of Michigan Institute of Social Research reveals the man or woman who complains the most about his job, his company, and his boss usually makes the best workers. The report said while this type will often spend a lunch hour denouncing his job, the driving urge to succeed will send this same subject back to work, fired with more productive energy. A spokesman for the Prudential Insurance Company, which sponsored the survey, said on the basis of this study, it may be that instead of firing a guy who threatened to punch his boss on the nose, we should have promoted him. Private Edward W. Griffin, stationed in Warrington, England, with the U.S. Air Force, sighs whenever asked his serial number and counts off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's what his serial number is, no kidding. And a 9-year-old New Albany, Indiana girl, in speaking about a skating rink nearby, told her mother, "Mama, we can't roller skate anymore, but we can shoot craps." This brought a raid by the sheriff, and 7 men later pled guilty to operating a gambling house and were fined. And those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Thursday, February 22nd, 1951, on your radio, The Lineup, the conclusion of which you will hear next on this Tuesday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, right here on your favorite radio station.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or if you just have a plan you're not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare. There are hundreds of thousands of members, and they love it. MediShare has a 98% customer satisfaction rating, and this is obviously huge. The typical family saves around $6,000 a year switching to MediShare. Find out more. They're great to talk to. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
What does it mean to be an American? Just what are our American values? Working hard to succeed, loving God, country, and family, being honest, strong, and compassionate.
Supporting our Constitution and recognizing that we are blessed to be living in America, the greatest country in the world.
Our Bill of Rights protects us, our freedoms of worship, speech, and privacy, our right to own firearms, our right to trial by jury,
our right to be free, to live our own lives without some bureaucrat telling us what to do. Most countries don't have these rights.
Want to know more? It's all there in the book. Get your own free book, The U.S. Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Then read it again, and this time share it with your friends. Our great Constitution is the basis of all of our freedoms, our inalienable rights. Get your own copy at freeusbook.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
Well, on Wednesday's Classic Radio Theater, we won't hear the imitation. We'll hear the real thing. Jack Webb starring in an episode of Dragnet from 68 years ago, February 23rd, 1954, The Big Pipe. Mrs. Ada Fitzgerald has been found murdered, bludgeoned to death with a lead pipe. That'll be on Wednesday's Classic Radio Theater. But now let's listen to the conclusion of the lineup from 71 years ago today, February 22nd, 1951.
Oh, man.
Oh, I've been waiting for you, Ben. How'd you make out with Edna Hawley's husband?
He's a cripple. Couldn't possibly have carried it down the fire escape. What'd you get?
Charlie Bond. He said he wasn't out of his apartment all last night. Well, he's lying, Ben. The man who runs a newspaper stand 3 blocks from the apartment house said Charlie bought a paper from him last night around 11.
Is he sure?
He's sure. Charlie's a regular customer. I'll go get Charlie.
Could you, Lieutenant, do me a favor, will you?
What?
Stop making that chair squeak. It's on my nerve.
You'll get used to it, Charlie.
I feel sicker than I did this morning. Makes my nerves jumpy.
Charlie, we found out who the dead girl was.
You did?
Edna Hawley. She worked in a dance hall called the Silver Swan.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Ever been in the Silver Swan, Charlie?
The lieutenant asked you a question, Charlie. Were you ever at the Silver Swan?
Maybe. I'm a sick man. I can't sleep nights. I go lots of places.
Why did you kill her?
Kill who?
Edna Hawley. You strangled her. Why?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Last night you brought Edna to your apartment, then you killed her. Why, Charlie?
You're crazy. I wasn't out of my apartment.
We know you were out last night.
How do you know? You don't know.
You bought a newspaper, 11 o'clock. Did you forget, Charlie?
Yeah, I forgot. All right, so I went out for a paper. Why are you looking at me like that?
Nothing, Charlie. Nothing at all.
Went out for a paper. It was only a couple of minutes. You can't prove anything from that.
When'd you meet Edna? After you bought the paper?
I didn't meet this Edna. I don't even know her. When are you going to let me go?
There's no hurry.
Have to let me go soon, Lieutenant, because you haven't got a thing on me.
Give him to Asher, man.
Where are you taking me?
Back to your cell. Come on, Charlie.
You better let me go soon. I'm going to see my doctor. I can't kill him.
Take him upstairs again, Bill. You think the same way I do, don't you, Ben?
How's that?
Charlie's our man. He killed Edna Hawley.
I think so, but I can't prove it.
We might make him crack. I doubt it, though.
We'll try.
It won't be easy. We need a witness, Ben. Somebody who saw Charlie Bond and Edna Hawley together last night.
All right. We'll make our own witness.
Huh?
Policewoman. We'll find a policewoman who looks like a dance hall hostess. Here we are, Nora.
Is Charlie Bond already in the visitor's room?
No, he'll be brought in. You understand what you're supposed to do now?
Yes, sir.
Just remember what I told you. We'll be listening in the next room. Good luck, Nora.
Thanks, Lieutenant.
All set up, man?
All set up and working. Grab a chair, Ben.
All right. Turn it up a little, huh?
Right. You think Charlie will go for her story?
It's a chance.
I don't know, Ben. Nora being new and...
Matt.
Yeah. That must be him now.
They told me I had a visitor.
Hello, Charlie.
Who are you?
I've got something to tell you.
I don't know you.
I work at the Silver Swan Dance Hall.
What's that got to do with me?
I know you, Charlie. I've got something to tell you. Something about Edna Hawley.
I don't know anything about her. I'm going back to my cell.
Okay, if you don't want to hear.
Yeah, what? What about Edna Hawley?
I'll make it short. I saw you meet her last night.
You're crazy.
Okay, I'm crazy. But I saw you.
You're so smart, why don't you tell the cops? What do you want?
Money?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Money to keep quiet. $500.
You can't blackmail me. I never saw this Edna Hawley.
All right. We'll leave it like
You can't
that.
prove I met her. Because I didn't.
I said we'd leave it like that. The cops will let you go before long.
Yeah, they'll have to let me go.
You know where I work, Charlie. See you soon?
You won't see me.
I'll wait a week.
Wait a month. I don't care.
A week. That's how long I'll wait. 1 week.
Time's up, Charlie.
So long, Charlie. Like I said, see you soon.
Turn it off, man.
Well, she did a good job.
Yeah,
I think he'll bite hard.
maybe. We'll let him think it over a while.
When do we release him, tonight?
First thing in the morning. Tonight we've got work to do.
Work?
Well, we have to rent a room for Nora near the Silver Swan. And you know how hard it is to rent rooms these days.
Morning, Ben.
Morning, Matt. Did you release Charlie?
Yeah, just signed him out. Very unfriendly person, Charlie.
Who's tailing him?
Pearson and Doherty. Well, what about tonight?
I called the manager of the Silver Swan. He's briefing Nora now. How many men did you get us?
9, counting Pearson and Doherty. Tell me how you want them staked out.
Well, 6 in the dance hall, 1 on the dictaphone in the room next to Nora's.
Check. Now what about us?
We'll be outside the Silver Swan.
Outside?
Uh-huh. What about it?
Well, it's freezing outside, Ben. Don't we ever get an inside job? What time is it, Ben?
It's 1:55.
Oh, I wish they'd close these dance halls earlier. That wind's going right through me.
Yeah, me too.
Doesn't look like Charlie's going to show.
Matt, crossing the street.
Where?
End of the block.
Yeah, I see him now.
Keep back in the shadow. Oh, never mind. He's going the other way.
Kind of look like him.
Uh-huh. But I don't see Doherty. I guess we were wrong.
I wonder when he'll show.
He's got a week to make up his mind.
Well, I hope the weather gets warmer.
It feels like snow.
Oh, snow.
What's wrong with snow? Pretty. And the music stopped. Nora should be out in a minute.
I could use some coffee.
Yeah, coffee sounds good.
I haven't been this cold since I was pounding a beat.
Get used to it. We'll be here tomorrow night, too.
Looks like you're right. Uh-oh. There's Nora, Ben, coming out the side door.
Well, we'll give her a few seconds start before we follow.
That's not far to my place, Ben. We'll tail Nora home and then go have coffee, huh? Here we are, Ben.
Oh, Dryer?
Oh, evening, Lieutenant. Boy, do you two look cold.
Well, maybe it's because we are.
Anything to report?
Hey, you can hear Nora now. She just came in.
Yeah, we followed her. Switch on the two-way, will you, Dryer?
Uh-huh.
Everything all right, Nora?
Yes, sir. But no Charlie Bond.
And we'll try again tomorrow night.
All right, Lieutenant.
Stay in your room during the day. Be in the dance hall at the usual time.
Gee, I hope he shows up soon. My feet are starting to hurt.
2:00. Ben?
Uh-huh. Well, looks like another dry run.
I wonder why he doesn't show.
Doherty says he sticks pretty close to his apartment.
It's not so cold tonight.
I think it's gonna snow.
You said that the first night.
I still think so.
Ben, maybe we ought to try something else.
Like what?
Pick Charlie up again. Keep him locked up until he cracks.
You know that wouldn't work, man.
Yeah, I guess not.
Give it time. We got 4 more nights.
Yeah. Coming over for coffee afterwards?
We ought to go to my place tonight.
Well, mine's closer. There's Nora.
Oh, wait, man. Not yet.
What's the matter?
That alley, where the street lights burned out.
I don't see anything.
He ducked behind the building.
Charlie?
Well, I don't know. There.
Yeah, it's Charlie. What do you know? He's letting Nora walk right by.
I thought he would.
In her room, huh?
If we're lucky. But wait till he starts to follow.
Ben?
All right, man. Let's go.
Charlie's not following her in, Ben. Just standing on the other side of the street, watching.
Yeah, he's waiting.
Waiting for what?
To find out which room's Nora's.
He should know now. She just turned on the light. We go up now, Ben?
Yeah, the back way. Come on.
We've been up here a long time, Ben. Maybe he won't come up.
He'll come.
Well, Nora must... Shh. Ben.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Charlie Bond.
Just a minute.
Turn it up, Drar.
Well, you took your time getting here.
Yeah, I had to think about it.
I thought maybe you wouldn't come.
You said I had a week. I'm here now.
Did you bring the money, Charlie?
Money? For what?
For me. So I'll keep quiet.
I haven't got any money.
Don't stall, Charlie. I want $500.
Suppose I don't pay.
I'll go to the cops. Tell them I saw you with Edna Hawley.
I've got a better idea.
Better than money.
Yeah, this.
Charlie!
Let's go.
Well, I'll be...
Lieutenant!
What?
Ben, look at Charlie. He sounds like a fish.
He was going to... I threw him the way they taught us.
Nora, what's the matter?
He was going to kill me.
Nora.
Man.
Nora. How about that? She slugs the killer, then passes out. What is it with women, Ben?
The Lineup, where before you pass the innocent, the vagrant, the thief, the murderer. Listen again next week when we again bring you The Lineup.
May I have your attention, please? You people out there on the other side of the wire in the audience room, may I have your attention, please? Thank you. My name is Greb, Sergeant Matt Greb. I'll explain the lineup to you. Each of the suspects you will see will be numbered. I'll call off a number, their name and charge. If you have any questions or identifications, please remember the number assigned to the prisoner as I call his name. At the end of each line, when I ask for questions or identification, call out the number.
The Lineup, starring Bill Johnstone as Lieutenant Ben Guthrie and Wally Mayer as Sergeant Matt Greb, was written by Charles E. Israel with music by Eddie Dunstetter. Featured in tonight's cast were Jay Novello, Junius Matthews, Sidney Miller, Pat McGeehan, John McIntyre, Mary Jane Croft, and Sammy Hill. The Lineup is produced and directed by Jaime Del Valle.
There you have it, CBS's version of Dragnet, The Lineup. from February 22nd, 1951. The show would run on CBS Radio from 1950 until 1953. It would run on CBS Television from 54 until 60, and there was a motion picture version of it, film noir version starring Eli Wallach, that was in 1958. The lineup here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, and contact me there. classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. You can also find all of our information about other places you can hear Classic Radio Theater, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Please thank this radio station. Your support for this station is very critical in keeping us on the air, and support their advertisers. But most importantly, tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.